All right, boys, here we go. The new Forza Horizon 4 announcement is officially LEGO, and let's see how the community feels about it. I'm going to give you guys my first impressions and going to walk you guys through what my feelings are about this whole expansion. We see the LEGO McLaren P1 right there, and I have mixed feelings, right? I have mixed feelings because it looks like a really fun and interesting concept, but at the same time, I can see a lot of people not being super interested in it, right? Because we see a bunch of Unimogs here hauling different Lego pieces in, like one's hauling a house, the other's hauling farm animals, and then this Lego P1 shows up, or sorry, Senna. This Lego Senna shows up. I'm going to need to correct that, but it jumps into a racetrack, which is a little bit weird for the Horizon series, right? Because Horizon, not really about racetracks, but we also see, driving through trees, driving through the wilderness, driving through the landscape. We also see what looks like a stunt park, a beach with pirate ships, again, all made out of Lego, but we also see cars that are from the main game, that are regular cars, driving with the Lego cars. So that in itself is really, really cool. We also see a little Lego city here. It looks like what we're getting is an entirely new map designed around Legos, and it looks like it has an airport, farmlands, a racetrack, a stunt park, a little bit along the same lines as the Hot Wheels expansion, and by the looks of it, we'll be able to drive all of the normal cars within this Lego world, but we'll also be able to drive these new Lego Speed Champions cars. Now, as you can see, the house just kind of popped up right there, and I'm very curious if we'll be able to actually build our own houses, but more on that later. Now, taking a deep dive into this trailer, let's start from the very beginning where we see the Unimogs hauling in the Lego pieces. Now, this makes me wonder if this is just a design element for the trailer, or if you'll actually have missions revolving around hauling Lego pieces, which would actually be quite interesting and quite cool, and a good way to make use of trucks like the Unimog in a more involved way, so you could take that bed and actually use it to haul things. Now, do I think that that's going to happen? Probably not, but it's an interesting thought. Now, here's where we get our very first glimpse at the Lego Senna. Now, the Lego Senna obviously is a little bit odd looking because it's made out of Lego bricks, but it does make me wonder if there is a gameplay dynamic like barn finds, where instead of finding barn finds, you go around finding Lego pieces, which then help you assemble Lego cars. Now, do I know for sure that that's a thing? No, but it would be a very cool gameplay dynamic, and I would love to see them do something related to building, and I feel like that would be a really good way to take advantage of the fact that they are partnered with Lego for this expansion. Now, taking a deeper look at the world, here we see large Lego people or Lego characters, and you can see a little bit of the Lego F40 alongside the Lego Senna. It looks like the world is designed in a similar way to Forza Horizon 4's current world, except with, again, most of the interactive objects changed out or replaced with their Lego counterparts, like trees, for example. However, the grass looks to remain unchanged, and so do the roads. Now, here is another Lego car that has been confirmed, and that is the Lego Mini. They show this car a lot in the trailer, and I can understand why, because it really lends itself to the Lego look really, really well. I'm very curious as to how customization is going to work within Lego, because as you can see, this car has its normal headlights and then 4 rally lights on the front end, and it has the spare tires on top. And I wonder if those are things that could be added or removed as Lego pieces within the customization system. Now, here's another look at your Lego F40 within the Stunt Park, and actually, we can confirm that it is called the Stunt Park because you can see on the billboard back there, it's literally labeled Stunt Park. So this is very reminiscent of the Hot Wheels expansion from Horizon 3, and it looks to have some similar shapes and dynamics in terms of obstacles and in terms of how they're designed, although it doesn't look exactly the same. But you can also see that the roads in this picture have a little bit more of a plastic looking texture than the roads in the other picture, and it almost looks to me like they're going to kind of go back and forth between this more asphalt looking texture and a more plastic looking texture. Now, something that I wanted to touch on immediately after seeing it for the first time was the inclusion of a racetrack within a Horizon game. This is the very first time a closed course has ever been included in a Horizon game, and I'm very, very interested. Now, when I say closed course, I mean designed to be a racetrack. Now, the festivals have had their own little, courses within the festival itself, but this is an actual racetrack, and I want to really make that clear because even though you might not be a fan of the LEGO partnership and you might not be that interested in LEGOs in general, we'll be able to bring our normal cars here, and it'll actually be a very interesting place to bring grip-tuned cars in a Horizon game because we'll actually have a closed circuit without traffic, I presume, for the very first time in comparison to open roads. Now, to be fair, if you're doing a particular race event, you can turn traffic off in custom events and all that sort of thing. But if you've ever wanted to take your cars in Horizon 4 to a closed circuit, this looks like it'll be your first opportunity to do that. Here we're going to take another very clear look at this new closed racetrack. Now, I don't know if this racetrack is based upon any existing racetracks already, but it's probably not. It's probably completely fictional in layout. However, we see that the LEGO McLaren Senna, alongside other real-life cars, seems to be about the same size. So I feel like these LEGO cars will be about the same size as their real-life counterparts, except rendered in LEGO. And that's one of the things that I was curious about is if going over to LEGO, if we saw a change in car size, but it doesn't look like we will. It looks like these cars will be about the same size as their real-life counterparts. My main question is active aero. Like, will that wing still work? I don't know. We'll have to find out. This is the section of the map that I am probably the most interested in out of all of them, and this is the LEGO City. Now, there seem to be a few different areas within this map. It looks like we'll have a desert dune area, a beach area, a racetrack, and a city, as well as an airport. So, again, the airport is a very welcome addition, and I really hope that that runway is extremely long, and I'll show you pictures of the airport later. But back to the city itself, it looks like just about everything within this city, minus the buildings, will be destructible, as we saw in the trailer, and we could see a bunch of normal cars running around the city, and I could see it actually being very fun and very interesting for some drifting stuff. Now, whether or not you're a fan of LEGO, I think it has to be appreciated that a city block system is something that we haven't actually seen in a long time. We saw a little bit of it back in the older Horizon games, but something modeled after a city, like, for example, Lego City, would actually be kind of cool, especially for, like, stoplight to stoplight drag racing. Now, as I previously mentioned, we do have an airport as well. You can see planes taking off, and you can see the woods out in the background. You can also see the desert out in the background, which is presumably where they're going to have the Dune play area. But this airport looks like a lot of fun, and I'm really hoping for a long runway. We can see the cars out on the runway here. We've got a Lego F40 in the middle there, and I'm really, really hoping that this runway is long. I really am, because we've needed a proper runway for a long time, and this could just possibly be it. Now, whether or not those planes will actually be an active gameplay dynamic or not remains to be seen, because in the next screenshot that I'm going to show, you can see them taking off as well. Now, here they're a lot closer to the ground, and it makes me wonder if there will be a gameplay dynamic involving, avoiding Lego airplanes, like if that's going to actually be a playable, gameplay dynamic. Now, whether or not that becomes playable, or that is an element of gameplay or just an aspect of this particular trailer, again, remains to be seen. But I'm very curious, and I would say I'm definitely I would say I'm cautiously optimistic, but it's going to be a very interesting expansion for sure. I'm going into it with an open mind, and I think you guys all should too. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to say, well, I don't like it because it's Lego. Well, I don't like it because of this. Well, I don't like it because of that. I think, again, like I said, I think we should all go into it with an open mind, and I'm very excited for the launch date on the 13th. And yes, like I said, this expansion will be available on June 13th, which is right around the corner, might I add. And I'm very excited to get my hands on it for the first time and really see what the fuss is about. And I think, like I said, I think you guys should all go into this with an open mind. I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to go, I don't like it automatically because it's Lego, and Lego has no place within my semi-realistic car game. And I think that because of the fact that we're able to use our real life cars, not necessarily real life, but like real life modeled cars in the Lego map, I think that is probably the best part of this entire expansion, because if you don't want to use the Lego cars, but you want to mess around with, say, for example, the airport with your realistic cars, you've got that opportunity, right? It's there for you, and you can actually do that. So I think that was probably the best decision they could have possibly made with this expansion, to let you use your real life cars within the Lego world and not just the Lego cars. And before we finish this out, I do want to say that it looks like we have confirmation of active seasons within the Lego world, as we can see right here in the wintertime. That is going to be a very interesting thing to see, because the seasons being active in a Lego world will have maybe slightly different effects on a Lego world than it will on the real world. But I think they'll probably just mirror what happens in the real world in the Lego world with a couple of twists. At least that's what I would assume. But again, only time will tell, and we have to wait and see. But if you guys enjoyed this very first look at the Lego expansion, make sure to hit that like button. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more for the latest in Forza Horizon 4 news, as well as gameplay. We'll be bringing you guys gameplay of the Lego expansion as soon as we possibly can. And I will see you guys in the next one. Talk to y'all later. One more thing before we go. I'm a little too excited about this stunt park. I'm really excited about it, and it's been it almost feels like it's been too long since Forza had something like this in a Horizon game. I mean, I know we had something like this in Horizon 3, but I've been waiting for something like this in Horizon 4 for so long, and I'm so glad it's here, whether it's in Lego form or Hot Wheels form or whatever it is. I'm just glad we have a stunt park now, and I can't wait to try it out.